the first pick.
All right, hey everybody, Conor Dorney here with Just Baseball. I'm live at the 2025 MLB Draft Combine here in Phoenix, Arizona. Joining me right now, shortstop from Wesleyan Christian University in North Carolina, Josh Hammond. Josh, thanks for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So how has this process been for you so far in the Combine? Obviously, you got to do some on-field drills today, take BP. Has the process been different than what you expected or kind of what you anticipated coming into it?
You know, it's really just been a blast. You know, I've had a lot of fun doing this. It's a really exciting time. It's a really unique time, and so I really don't want to take that for granted. Whether it's meetings or just being out there with some of these guys, you know, it felt like a couple of years ago I was watching these guys at college, kind of looking up to them like they're celebrities, and then staying in the same hotel, doing the same things, meeting with the same teams as they are. And so it's really awesome. You know, I'm really blessed to be out here, and I'm super thankful that I even get the opportunity to meet with teams and take VP on the field. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, for some of our viewers who might not be familiar with your game, could you tell us just a little bit about kind of how you got to the point you are today?
Yeah. So, you know, the first 3 years of my high school career, you know, I was written off as a pitcher, and rightfully so. You know, I had a good arm. I could spin a breaking ball. But, you know, this past year, it's been about a year now that I've kind of transitioned myself into a position player. You know, I've changed everything about my life to be the best position player possible. And so, you know, thankfully it paid off. Thankfully, I was right about the decision that I made, and you know, it's been awesome. It's been a blast just being able to play every day, play shortstop every day, and have every single at bat be really meaningful. So it's been awesome. It's been a blessing, and you know, I'm excited that I did make this decision.
Yeah. Now, I think you are, you know, for you know, all intents and purposes, selling yourself a little bit short on the mound. You're up to 99, so you know,
Yeah.
just casually throwing out there, yeah, I pitched a little bit. You know, I'm not going to know what that ever feels like. So, so yeah, that's one thing I was going to ask is, you know, do you get more out of being on one side of the ball versus the other? Obviously, like you said, transitioning and focusing mostly as a position player the last year. You know, was it a very tough decision for you to make, or did you feel like, hey, I want to be out there every day and making an impact?
You know, there were different aspects of it that were tough because, you know, one, you know, I'm a competitor. I like to win. And, you know, obviously I was talented on the mound. I had some good stuff. And so I wanted to be out there in the biggest moments to help our team win. And so that's what I did this high school season. It ended up working out. But, you know, at the end of the day, the decision was easy. You know, kind of this summer, sometimes I didn't necessarily play as much as I wanted to, and that's because I was a PO, and rightfully so. But you know, people have their opinions, and so I wanted to make sure that I was going to change those opinions and become, you know, one of the best hitters in the class. And so I'm lucky, thankful enough to be in this situation that I am now.
Yeah, I think that you've certainly done that throughout the process for sure. Now you've got, you know, somewhat of a unique background. Your dad's a collegiate coach at High Point University in North Carolina. How is that? What's like maybe one piece of advice you've gotten from him? You know, in his experience coaching at that level. You know, he was at Wake Forest for a long time. You know, what's that process? Obviously, it's a little bit different than, you know, getting guidance from someone that's not in the game as, you know, at such a high level like he is.
Yeah. So you know, I'm super thankful and blessed to be in the situation I am to have my dad being a college coach, and you know, he had a really long career in pro ball, and so you know, I learned everything from him. You know, he's taught me everything that he knows, and so, but the biggest thing that for me that's kind of stuck with me is, you know, just the fact of being yourself. You know, be yourself. When I'm myself, I have fun, and you know, as you can probably tell, when you have fun on the baseball field, you're probably doing pretty well. You're probably having some good results. But even when you don't have good results, just still be yourself and have fun. Don't try to do anything extra. Don't try to push anything. You know, if you're 0 for 4 the next game, don't try to go 4 for 4. Just be yourself, have fun, and go out there and win the game. And because at the end of the day, that's what matters is the wins.
Absolutely, yeah. So obviously, you know, a big focus of this whole week is the play on the field, getting in front of the scouts for BP and for infield drills. But another big part of it is for them getting to know you off the field and the type of person you are. So what are some of the passions you have away from the game that kind of, you know, keep yourself fresh?
I believe that a player is only as good as the individual, and so that's something that I really take pride in is the way I handle myself, and that's one, being as genuine of a person that I can be. Baseball is a really unique platform that you can impact so many people's lives with, and so that's what I try to do every single day. Whether I'm playing or whether I'm not, whether I'm having a good day at the plate or a bad day, I want to be a good person, impact people, whether it's inspiring people or just helping them and getting to know them. That's something that's really important to me, and I want people to know about me. But also, it's important that they get to know me, but it's also important, for me to get to know every organization. For the next however many years of my career that I'll be spending with an organization, hopefully in a couple of weeks, that'll be decided. But it's important for me to, be in an organization that has a plan in place for me to be the best version of myself. And at the end of the day, that'll be in the big leagues. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah. So I guess kind of alluding to your point about having a plan in place, obviously technology is such a huge part of the game today. How are you able, through the course of your development, and especially unique for yourself, kind of, being a pitcher and then transitioning to becoming, a position player, how much is the data, kind of influencing the way that you approach your training and things like that?
Yeah. I'm not oblivious to it because it is a huge part of today's game. A lot of players are really good because of the metric side and the analytical side. But, I'm never the player that's going to hang my head on that sort of thing. I'm a guy that bases, my training, what I do based off of, how I feel about it, how it feels for me, because everybody's a different player in their own aspect and everybody's got different feels. But, it did help me being on both sides of the ball. I understood how pitchers attacked hitters and different types of hitters, different times during the game, and it's easy for me to, kind of expect what sequences to come or kind of what approach that I need to have in a certain at-bat of the game, and vice versa. When I was a pitcher, it was easy to kind of understand, hey, this hitter might be looking for something, or locations or different type of stuff like that.
Right. Okay. And so is there, I guess, in today's game, is there a particular pitcher, major league level that you'd love to compete against?
That's a good question. The simple answer is all of them, because that means I will be in the big
At
leagues.
that level? Uh-huh.
Yes. But I grew up a Yankees fan, and so I think an awesome thing would be to face Garrett Cole. I mean, he's really good. I would have to be on my game if I wanted to at the end of that at bat be happy and not heading back to the dugout. But just small moments like that, small victories like that, just getting there and competing against the best players in the world is something really important to me.
Yeah. So you wouldn't be upset and hitting the bomb off your guy Garrett Cole?
Definitely not.
No,
Definitely
that's
not.
great. All right. Well, Josh, it's been great having you. Thanks so much for joining me.
Yeah, thanks for doing
conversation.
this. Thank you.